Macmillan Audio presents The Precipice by Paul Doiron. Read for you by Leyva. Outside are the dogs and sorcerers, and the sexually immoral, and murderers, and idolaters, and everyone who loves and practices falsehood. The Book of Revelation. Prologue. There is a sign at the southern entrance to the 100-mile wilderness. It is made out of rust-brown wood and painted with white letters. And it sends a stern and unmistakable warning to all who enter. Caution. There are no places to obtain supplies or help until Bridge, 100 miles north. Do not attempt this section unless you have a minimum of 10 days' supplies and are fully equipped. This is the longest wilderness section of the entire Appalachian Trail, and its difficulty should not be underestimated. The last photograph we have of the two women shows them posed beside this sign, with their arms around each other, looking more like sisters than college friends, who have hiked together from Georgia to Maine. Their faces are deeply tanned from months in the sun, and they are dressed in well-used backpacking gear. Bright synthetic shorts, patterned bandanas rolled around their necks, and heavily scuffed boots. Samantha Boggs is wearing a tie-dyed shirt, a wannabe hippie. Missy Montgomery has on a pink tee with the words, "Monson, by the shores of Lake Hebron." They are both smiling like bridesmaids at a wedding. We know that the photograph was sent at 11:33 a.m. on Sunday, September 7th, by a Samsung Galaxy smartphone. It traveled via cell tower and satellite down the eastern seaboard to their parents, who lived less than 5 miles from one another in the wealthy community of Buckhead in the North Atlanta suburbs. Samantha and Missy had emailed home many similar pictures since they'd set off on their journey 7 months earlier. This one just happens to be the last we have of the two women before they vanished, and we will probably never know who took it. The accompanying message said they would be in touch when they arrived at Bridge, on the west branch of the Penobscot River. Cell service is spotty throughout the Maine Highlands, but the thru-hiker's companion, the Bible of the AT, said there was a payphone at the campground store from which they could reliably call home. Samantha and Missy told their parents not to worry. The so-called wilderness was not as dangerous as it sounded. The path crossed logging roads that had been built since the Appalachian Trail was first blazed in 1937. And besides, they were sure to encounter other hikers along the way, including friends who were following the same rugged route from Springer Mountain to Baxter Peak. A journey of roughly 2,200 miles, which the young women intended to finish before the last week of September. Samantha and Missy said it would take 10 days to cross the 100-mile wilderness. They told their parents to expect a call on September 17th. The families waited and waited, and now 3 more days had passed since the hikers should have arrived at campground. But still there was no call. Finally, on September 20th, the parents gave in to their growing fears. They used the Montgomerys' political connections to mobilize a massive search on their behalf in the distant Maine woods, which was how I came to be involved in this case. In my 4 years as a Maine game warden, I had practiced search and rescue drills in all seasons and in all weather, and I had taken my skills into the field on more occasions than I could count.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?